What makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine?
Yara Shahidi responds amid racism backlash over her playing Tinkerbell. You can't make this shit up. It's always racism, according to these people. Added the link if you want to hit it up. Let me see what Regicide is talking about.
You count as a
being a girl, and today
Oh my
I'm
God,
in
this
nature. Trees, I love them. Water, lakes, I love them. Heels, they're my hiking heels. I love them.
I didn't know who Drew Barry. I saw that. I didn't know who Drew Barrymore was. That's why I was like confused. Yeah, I saw that. Dude, don't even get me started on this stuff. Let me get back to Yara. So Yara Shahidi has responded to the racist backlash over her upcoming role. The 23-year-old will play the iconic Pixie in Disney Plus's Peter Pan, while her former Blackish co-star Halle Bailey will star as Ariel in the much anticipated blah 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 blah. She goes, "What's been beautiful in seeing the response to both of our characters and seeing how many people feel included in this fairy tale while also maintaining the magic that we love in the first place." She continued, "I think oftentimes people think of diversity and inclusion as threatening or jeopardizing the quality of the story instead of seeing how beautifully they can be interwoven together to create something that impacts even more people that lets even more people into the stories that we love." Okay. First of all, I want to give her a little bit of credit for actually addressing the argument and not just outright calling people racist. Let's read what she says again. She says, "I think oftentimes Reed says, "You scare me when you do not know the iconic movies and actors from our generation." A lot of times I just forget people's names. Ow. Ow. Damn, my shoulder is killing me. But so what she says is, "I think oftentimes people think of diversity and inclusion as threatening or jeopardizing the quality of the story instead of seeing how beautifully they can be interwoven together to create something that impacts even more people, that lets even more people into the stories that we love." Okay, I'm going to give you credit, Yara, for actually addressing the argument and not just flat out calling her racist. So I will give her a round of applause for that. I'm going to give her credit for that. Because she could have easily just came out and said, "Oh, these people are racist, we can just ignore them." But she didn't. She actually listens to the feedback and she addressed our concerns, which is that the focus on diversity almost always impacts the story in a negative way. Here's the problem, y'all. There's two problems with what you said. The first problem is the story and the diversity almost never is beautifully interwoven together. Almost never. That's been our main concern. When you look at stories that do have, I'll give you a prime example of a story that has diversity and people don't complain because it's good. Spider-Man. They race swap Mary J. Watson. They race swap Flash. Who else did they race swap? I mean, it's all type of diversity and inclusion. Nobody complains. Why? Because the Spider-Man movies are good. Straight up. Who else? Nobody complained about Nick Fury being race swap because Samuel L. Jackson is just that good. All right. When it actually works, House of the Dragon. There was complaints about Black Valerians until the guy who played the Black Valerian was so good that people sat back and was like, this nigga can actually play a Valerian. And so people accept it now. So you're right. when it's beautifully interwoven into the story, it works. All right? But most of the time it's not because what's happening, Miss Yara, is that you're hiring, well, not you, I'm sorry, I'm not blaming you. You're hiring, well, they're hiring activists to write these things. And activists have agendas. These activists are trying to get diversity and inclusion into these shows, and they forget to write a good story. The second problem with your statement is that you contradict yourself. You say that they can be beautifully interwoven together to create something that impacts even more people, and lets even more people into the stories that we love. How can you say into stories that we love, but you all of a sudden need to see yourself in it to love it? That makes entirely no sense. We've always loved these stories. We've always loved Ariel in The Little Mermaid. We've always loved Tinkerbell in Peter Pan. Without them needing to be black or Hispanic or whatever the case may be. So why all of a sudden we need to see our skin color in the characters to relate with them? The answer is we don't, which is it lends credence to the argument that this has nothing to do with creativity. It has nothing to do with story. You're pushing an agenda, and as long as the audience thinks that you're pushing an agenda on them, they will reject it. Period. If you're trying to push an agenda, whether you agree with it or not, if you're trying to push an agenda, it's not going to work. People are going to reject it, period. So, again, I want to give her credit for trying to address the argument. You did better than what Haley Bailey did. And so I kudos for that. But you're wrong. You're wrong. And Peter Pan is going to flop right after The Little Mermaid flops, because people aren't going to like it. I don't know if you've seen the likes to dislike ratios on those, but hey, it is what it is. You can't make this shit up. Anyway, guys.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the curler like Dracula's mansion, my baby.